everyone. And our speaker for today is Mr. E. Vivek Anand Sagar. He is a consultant and IPR attorney, Patent Information Center, Karnataka State Council for Science and Technology, ISC campus. So, Mr. Vivek holds a master's degree in LLM in law from Kuempu University. He also holds a postgraduate diploma in human resource management, MA in sociology, and PG diploma in human rights law from National Law School of India University, and is currently pursuing his PhD on enforcement of copyright issues in film and recording industry. He is independently practicing as advocate in Bangalore in the field of IPR and civil litigation. He is also guest faculty in Ramaya College of Law, Bangalore. He is a consultant in KSST, Bangalore, and has been an honorary designate as Research Associate, Center for Intellectual Property Right, Research and Advocacy, CIPRA, and Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Government of India on IPR, National Law School of India University. So, as part of research team at NLSIU, he has been involved in publication of March of IP Law newsletter. He is also involved in organizing national and international conferences as part of CAPRA and Ministry of Industry and Commerce chair on IPR. He has been involved in legal research project and submitted comments on draft data protection bill. His papers and articles are published in journals. He is invited as a spokesperson from various organizations and has delivered guest lectures on
Headphone ಬೇಕಾ?
related to IPR.
ಹೌದು
So we are pleased to have Mr. Vivek as a speaker for today's session. Vivek sir, on behalf of Department of Biotechnology and the Oxford College of Engineering, I welcome you to be the speaker for today's session. Sir, you may now please take over the session.
Yes, madam. A very good morning to one and all present in this particular program. It gives me a great, immense pleasure to be part of this particular faculty development program. Karnataka State Council for Science and Technology, autonomous body and governed under the Department of Science and Technology, Government of Karnataka and Government of India. KCST has been it's been playing a very important role in science and technology development in the state of Karnataka. And coming to intellectual property rights, once again, the Patent Information Center at KCST was established in the year 2005. Onwards, there are various activities undertaken under this IPR, such as establishing intellectual property cells, conducting training programs, workshops, and also in registrations of intellectual property rights, such as patents, trademark, copyrights, designs, industrial designs, plant varieties, etc., and geographical indication as well. So in this whole context, when we came up with, having intellectual property rights cells at various universities, primarily we all feel that, okay, innovation is happening at, science or engineering streams. So that is where we feel the innovation is happening, or some new, novel, non-obvious or industrial applicability is able to come out with. And in that context, people are coming up with various innovations, and that is where we feel that, yes, these are the places where we need to protect intellectual property rights, especially on patent subject matter. Now, coming to biotechnology, before that, let me also take you to my slide over here. That this slide speaks about
Excuse me, sir. Can you just
Yeah,
put on
madam.
slideshow?
Yes, madam. It's on full screen.
But here we couldn't see the full PPT.
Is it?
Yeah.
1 second. Wait. I'll just exit and
1 second, try sharing.
yeah, sure. Madam, I'm also for enabling my screen. What I have done is I have opened my another laptop. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Another laptop. So from there, I'm what do you say? Trying to access as Vivekanand Sagar. Can you allow me open up my camera so that they can see the expressions and program?
1 minute, sir. You have logged in, sir. 1 minute. I will make you as a presenter over.
Yeah, better. No, that also you make presenter. This also you make presenter.
Yeah, I made, sir, both of you as presenter.
Ah, that's fine. That's fine. 1 second, please. Exclusive feature in what do you say? The Microsoft Team, which.
And now go for slideshow, sir.
Yeah, madam.
Hello. Hello. Yes, madam. Yes.
That button only, sir. Just click it. It will load.
Yes, madam.
Can you see the slide?
Actually, slideshow it is not. It's a slide is visible, but it is not in slideshow. Can you try one more time that?
Now I have changed my slides. Can you see my changed slide?
No, sir. We couldn't see you.
Madam, you just send me a request letter.
So
send the request letter to
Is it?
secretary. Could you kindly give a
Sir,
number?
can you go to this slideshow on the top and try once?
Of our executive secretary.
Okay.
Yeah. 19.
From beginning.
8046. Okay. Fine, madam. I'll just call you now. Okay. Nagarjun.
What about?
Can you just click from beginning slideshow? Click that and you it is from beginning.
I'll just call you.
Beginning.
From
Beginning.
Yeah. Just a second. I'll call you now.
Is the slides changing?
No, sir. Let it be, sir. But we can see the slide, so you can start it from the first slides.
Okay, done. Yeah. So as I was saying, this particular slide, which contains about the statistical data with respect to number of IPRs filed at the IP office, that is Intellectual Property Office. So basically in India, we have Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, DPIIT, which governs the IPR related subject matter, under which the IP India comes, in which for patents, we have 4 major offices divided on what do you say, zonal basis, such as for the north, we have Delhi Patent Office. For west, we have Mumbai Patent Office. For south, that is Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, we need to approach Chennai Patent Office for filing sake, and Kolkata is another office. So these are the patent offices which is established in India to deal with what do you say, filing of patent applications. Okay, so this is what the patent office does. Receive your patent application, examine your patent application, see whether your invention falls within the ambit of section 21J of Indian Patent Act 1970 and say, yes, your invention or your technology or biotechnology is entitled for patent protection or not. And there is a grant, and the whole process takes 2 years or 3 years time. But once you file an application to the patent office, from then onwards, that is today you file a patent application, tomorrow you can start selling your technology and say that, yes, I have filed an application number so and so, so and so. Hence, I am going to transfer if someone wants my technology, etc. And this slide where it is showcasing that how the trend of patent filing in India is increasing. From 2013-14, there was around 42,000 patent application, and in the year 2019 and 20, the below picture which says that is 56,284 patent applications are being filed. What does this indicate? What does it indicate? This indicates that there is a gradual increase in number of patent filing in India. Okay, that's the first point. Okay, so there is a gradual increase in number of patent filing and other IPRs also. And in this whole context, increase of IP also refers that, okay, people are taking intellectual property rights on a serious note. And why? And when we compare the India versus China and United States, the number of filing is having a lot of difference. Such as China, we can find there is around 13 lakh patent application is being filed last year. Okay, it is 13 lakh patents. And in United States, we find around 6 to 7 lakh patent applications filed. But why in India we find such a less number of patent filing? Why is that? I just also wanted to take your opinion in the due course, or involve yourself also to think over and discuss about these issues. Okay, can you just tell me in the chat box, and I request the host to kindly read the read the chat answers. Any response from the participants?
No, sir. No.
No response as of now?
Yes, sir. No response.
Okay. No. What I wanted to understand is, can you tell me what is the number of filing, or why there is a huge difference between India, China, and US in number of filing of application? We are at around 50,000 application. China is filing around 13 lakh patent application. United States, they are receiving around 6 lakhs patent application, and India 50,000 patent application. Why is this huge difference? What is that? What is that reasons which you can find and tell that why there is a huge gap in number of filing?
People are not aware.
Some general. Yeah. Okay. Fine. That's a very good point. So the first point which we bring in is that, okay, sir, we are not aware on intellectual property rights to get it protected, etc. Okay, agreed and correct one of the answer. Next, any other answers?
Poor academic contribution.
A little more clarity, sir.
From academic end, there is very poor applications coming in.
Yes, correct. And so that is also once again.
Maybe because of the cost involved in filing the patents.
Yes.
Yes. Charges around 65,000 rupees for Indian patent.
Okay.
And for
okay. Yes.
Around 1.5. Probably that may be the reason for the poor academic contribution.
Yes. Correct. That's also a reason where we can take it that, okay, the cost of filing is huge. Second one, in academia, there is no much force on number of filing of patents, etc. And that could also be one such another reason. Yes.
And then people are not aware how to apply, whom to contact.
Okay, application. Yes. So people are not aware about how to file, what is the process, etc. and etc. So all these are reasons. So I will. The justifiable points and what happened at a later stage. This valid reasons was considered in the year 2015 and 16 by the government of India, stating that yes, there is a lack of awareness among the intellectual property rights about the people, for the people. Second one, the number of filing, the cost of filing is high and huge. And people also pointed out and said that, sir, if I file today application early, it used to take around 5 years, 3 years, like that. It is not something which we can find in a very short term or tenure. I file today application, I don't know when it will be granted. So it takes a very long time. So these were the concerns raised and issues were brought in. As well as there was once again another force for the government to take this subject matter on serious note. That is the Global Innovation Index. What is this global? Sorry. What is this Global Innovation Index? Global Innovation Index is a kind of ranking system for the respective nation, depending on various parameters that have they have around 75 parameters on what is the IP ecosystem, what is the innovation ecosystem, what is the number of filing, how they are commercializing, etc. and etc. So these are all the various parameters which has been provided over there.
Hello.
Yes, madam. Yes. Okay. So these are all the various parameters which has been put up by the World Intellectual Property Organization. They see in the various country what is their parameters and accordingly rank them. In the year 2014 and 15, India stood at around 86th rank in number of filing of in the Global Innovation Index. India realized that, oh my God, we stand at 86th rank in IPR. Why? What is this? What is the reason? And when they started examining, they thought that aren't we innovative? First question was, aren't we innovative? Aren't we coming up with research and development? Isn't our R&D structures, aren't they so capable enough? Isn't it our universities, industries are innovative and coming up with new products? There arise various questions. And in addressing this, the government realized that, and various study also proved that, no, we are innovative. We are innovative. We are creative. It is exhibited in various forms where people are making huge number of research and development, and such huge number of research and development are depicted through various publications, like, you know, this H index, the Scopus indexing, or hits for your research papers. So those are all evident. And you will be really shocked to hear that in number of research publication, India stood at which rank? Can I have a rough guess by the participants that where does India stand in number of publications? Can anyone just put a rough idea? Rough idea is more than enough for me. Rough idea. Can anyone say where does India stand in number of in which ranking do we stand in research and publication? Some answers, please, in the chat box. I request you to kindly, what do you say, keep your hand on the chat box and quickly answer it over there. Or if you want, you can also open up your mic and also tell, not an issue. And I request the host to kindly read the answers in the chat box because I am not able to see the
10th rank.
Okay, wonderful, madam. Anyone is if you just kindly tell me the name of a participant who is putting up their answers. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Salma. Salma has got only one reply, sir, within 10.
Within 10. Okay, Salma, madam. Anyone else? What about others? What about others? I'm expecting few more answers. Yeah.
12th rank, sir. Rajashri. Madam Rajashri.
Okay,
madam.
Rajashri, madam. We stand at 12th rank. Okay, done. Anyone else? Okay, that's more than enough. That's more than enough.
Actually, sir, the slides are not changed. It is in the second slide still.
Yes, I'm still in the second slide. Don't worry.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as you all rightly pointed out, it will be really shocked to hear that India stood at 7th rank in number of research publications. And why there is a huge gap from 7th rank to 86th rank? So what does this indicates? The simple analysis goes and say that we are very good at research and development. We are very good at research publications. We are very good at bringing out new novel research results by conducting various studies, etc. But what was the problem? The problem, as you all pointed out at the earlier stage, that there was no lack of, it was lack of awareness, the time consuming, patent process, patent cost, etc. and etc. So that is when India realized and came out with a national intellectual property policy in the year 2016, which set a target that we should bring a lot of awareness among the people about the importance of intellectual property rights, the process involved in it. And the faculties need not worry that, oh my God, this is a huge headache, let me not venture into it. Rather, they should feel happy to involve and get the IPs for them. In that context, a huge awareness program, which was stated in this National Intellectual Property Rights Policy in creating training programs, was set as an objective. And the result from 2016, in the year 2014 and 15, where India stood at 86th rank. And I request the participant to kindly tell me that where did India stand in the year 2020? In 2000, that is the 2020, April 26th, the World Intellectual Property Organization announced this, announced the ranking system. And can the participants tell me that where did India stand? It is not only about awareness. Awareness was created. The patent office process of getting a patent, which was a problem in the patent office because it used to take 3 years, 4 years, 5 years of time. And because of various reasons, such as there was no huge number of examiners in the patent office, which was around 250 examiners were there. And after 2019 and 20, when there was 18 and 19, when there was a huge recruitment which happened, now we have around 750 total capacity of patent office examiners. Okay, so this increase has led in fast grant of patents from the date of issue of FER. It has taken just 6 months for granting a patent. So that is what a report says. It is not from the filing, I mean to say after file, then you have to pay the fees for examination. After examination, the examiner will send you a FER, that is first examination report. From the first examination report till the grant, that is, you have to respond back to the patent office stating that these are the reasons. Hence, you need to grant me a patent and I fulfill the criteria of novelty, non-obviousness. And this is what it says. So in that context, can you tell me, in the year 2020, when it was announced, where did India stand? In which ranking did India stand? Can anyone give the rough guess?
So Valarmati says around 40th. Dr. Sudha Devi also says 40.
Okay, wonderful. You're all almost near, but anyone else? Someone who can give accurate answer? Accurate number? Which year, what is the ranking which India stood at? Okay, let me say. India stood at
says 43.
Okay, wonderful. You're all almost near. So India stood at 48th rank when it was announced in 2020. Okay, so there was a huge what do you say, leap which India has taken because of various initiatives such as Make in India, conducting various training programs, number of filings in the patent office. It may be not only the patent, it may also your designs, trademark, copyrights, etc. So this has resulted in bringing India 8. And this year, April 26th, once again, the Innovation World, what do you say, Global Innovation Index policy will be, Global Innovation Index will be released. However, due to COVID, we cannot expect too huge increase in the, what do you say, ranking system. But nevertheless, let us see what happens, but we'll hope for good. So in this whole context, that the importance of intellectual property is important. It is not only the faculty, it is not only the government which has realized, but the faculties have also realized, the entrepreneurs have realized, the startups have realized, the SMEs have realized it. And in that context, IPR has been playing a very important role. And in that context, this particular program title, one of the portion is also exclusively on patentability. In that context, we have experts coming from the patent agents who are eligible to file patent applications on behalf of the inventors. We have, what do you say, experts coming from Khurana and Khurana, one of the famous law firms, Banana IP, and various law firms represent, or do you say, participants, the resource persons are coming up, and they are going to tell you as to how do you make a prior art search, how do you make a literature review, how do you that is patent literature review, how do you prepare for a patent examination, that is the patent the first examination report, how do you defend before an examiner, how do you write the claims, and what is the prosecution which happens in a patent office. On all these subject matter, we have exclusive sessions to deal with it. We do not expect you to become an expert in this area, but we expect or we request you people to be knowing as to what are the process which happens in the patent office, so that when you file applications to the patent office, then there is a what happens, that you will be able to know what is the process which is happening. You will be able to contribute to your invention. And we do not want you to become what do you say, fall behind the patent office. Rather, we wanted you to become an inventors, but know the process, so that in the process, when the experts or when the professionals take up the application, they are going to take care your application on a serious note. Okay, so this is what the IPR or a patent plays a very important role. Now, coming to the biotechnology subject matter, let me go a little more ahead. So in the patent office, madam, now can you see my slide? Has it changed? Trends of filing and patent application in the various field of technology?
No, sir. It is still in trends in last 5 years in respect of filing.
Okay. Why is that? No, this is the same situation yesterday also when I was in another program. The same thing had popped up. Madam, can you see the slide? The trends
Yes,
of filing and grant of patent application?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll just, for a sake of test. Now, has the slide changed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Acha, done. Do like this. So the trend of filing. So here is the various field of technologies, primarily which has been bifurcated from the filing to the grant. You can find there is electrical, electronics, mechanical engineering, chemical and allied subject, and biotechnology exclusively is another field of inventions which the patent office has been bifurcated, or the field of technologies has been bifurcated. You can find the filing is around 1,754 applications. And the granting is around 558 patent grants. So this indicates that the inventions in the field of biotechnology, the filing and grant is very low when compared to mechanical engineering, chemical, and electrical. And there can be various reasons for it also. and why I put up this slide is for us to take up that there is a lot opportunity or huge opportunity in the field of biotechnology for filing of patents. So that's what it indicates. So there is less number of filing, less number of grant, means more number of opportunities, more scope for it. Okay. So when I said scope and opportunity, when did this stand? When did this opportunity came? See, in the year 1980s, it all started from our Diamond versus Chakraborty case. I think you all know about Diamond versus Chakraborty, where Mr. Chakraborty, who was an Indian citizen who went to United States, a scientist, I think last year or 1 or 2 years before he passed away, Chakraborty, he went to United States, he filed a patent application on a microorganism where which was a man-made or human intervention invention. And when he files a patent application to the patent office primarily did not grant a patent for him, stating that, hey, come on, microorganisms these are the natural ones. For natural ones, we will not be granting a patent. What was the invention? Does anyone know what is the thing which he did? Chakraborty's invention. For what did he get a patent? Can anyone tell for what did he get a patent?
Bioremediation of oil spills, sir.
Come again, madam.
Bioremediation, sir. Hydrocarbon degradation.
Correct. Very good. Correct. Can you tell me what is that microorganism?
Pseudomonas.
Yes, very good. Correct. So this was a one which he came up with, that is the Pseudomonas, where if oil spills which happens in the seashores or at the sea. So he brought out this Pseudomonas to degrade that oil spills and which was causing a huge pollution. So when he files a patent application in a patent office primarily, that is Mr. Diamond, who was an examiner of a patent application, said that he will not be granting a patent because that's a natural one. But the Supreme Court of United States, he did not leave there. He filed an application to the Supreme Court and challenged the decision of the examiner, stating that no, I am entitled for a patent because why patent was granted, madam? Because of what?
Modified the microorganism so that it becomes oil eating.
Correct. So there was a human intervention, there was a modification, and it was not merely rather a human intervention was there. Hence, from there onwards, actually the history of biotechnology, granting patents in the field of biotechnology starts from Diamond versus Chakraborty. Okay, so from there onwards, the Supreme Court laid down, said that anything under the sun is patentable. Okay, anything under the sun is patentable. So that is when what do you say, a great revolution in the field of biotechnology started. Thereafterwards, it has been what do you say, going ahead. So in that context, your role what do you say, in coming out with a new formulations or a new micro or a new biotechnology, such technologies are entitled for patent protection undoubtedly. Okay, so that is the context. So let me go ahead a little more further. Sorry. Yeah, so this is another such slide which is a top 10 Indian applicants for patents from scientific and research and development organizations such as CSIR, ICAR, etc. And you can find at the institutions and university level, we have all Indian Institute of Technologies collectively filing around 540 patent applications, Amity University 119 applications, SRM University 81, Bhartiyar University 66, etc. So this is once again an indication that yes, universities and research and development institutions are taking IP on a serious note, and they are filing IPRs. Yes, so let me go next. Madam, you can find, see my slides, right? Has changed to innovation.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, okay. So innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. This is something like a motivational slide for next 1 or 2 slides. The reason is because see, it is not just enough I come up with a research result. It is not enough I come out with a paper, and that is where in the year 2005 and 6, when Dr. Padma Bhushana Meshalkar, who was in CSIR, stated that see, the researchers have always have one enthusiastic point, that he would like to publish his article. He would like to, or the academicians or the researchers have this kind of an mindset, and that is what we have built their mindset in such a fashion that okay, fine, we always what do you say? We always wanted to publish our work. Why? Most of the faculties say, hey, come on, knowledge is for sharing. Come on, let us share. Let the world know what the research I have done. And this also is also once again reflect in my what do you say, annual increments and CV. So in all these contexts, this is playing a very important role. 1 second, please. Nagarjun, do Agriculture University do 3 days, 1 day students, 2 days for faculties. On schedule hakbidi. 3 days, 3 sessions per day. Okay. So as I was telling you that Meshalkar's statement that publication. So he said, if you publish, you perish. So this statement might be shocking to you to hear that, okay, publish and perish, what the hell are you talking? You tell, if you say, that is my livelihood, sir. I do research, I publish it so that people get to know, and the index runs, and a lot of references comes up. And that's where I proudly say, hey, come on, see, this is what I have got, right? 1 second, please. Nagarjun, Nandini madam, booking market. So this is what you say. This is what you say at the proudly say that this is number of publications I've got, number of references I've got, etc. and etc. So in this whole context, Meshalkar said, if you publish, you perish. Why? What is the reason for publish and perish?
We won't be able to patent if we publish it.
Wonderful. Super. Exactly. Correct. Sir, if you file an application to the patent office today, last year you publish your article, and you file an application in the year 2021, and your paper is published in the year 2019. And the patent examiner, when he make a search, there is for a patent, there is a 3 major requirement, that is novelty, non-obviousness, and industrial applicability. When he find novelty means it should be new. Is your invention new? Yes, sir, it is new. I was the one who have done. Of course, I agree. You made it. But on the date of filing of patent application, is it new? That is a question. So how do you identify something which is new? You make a literature survey. You make a literature survey. In the literature survey, you will come to know that what were the innovations, or what was the thing which is already in existing. And the patent examiner also looks at your application and make a search. He search not only the patent application, but also searches in the non-patent literature also. That includes your journals, paper publications, your books, your news articles, your videos, includes everything. That means you come out with a new invention, immediately you should not make a video out of it and publish. You should not tell to the press. You should not publish in the journal. You should not publish in the books. Okay. So the whole context of reference is that if you publish, you perish. That means once when you go to the patent office and they say, hey, come on, your article is already known, man. I cannot grant you patent because it is no more novel. It does not satisfy the criteria of novelty. So this is what it says. Hence Meshalkar statement further you should hear that if you publish, you perish, but if you patent and then publish, you prosper. What do you mean by this? Sir, many people come and say, sir, next week I have a publication. This is very important. I should go and make a publication. What should I do? We say, sir, don't worry. File a provisional application today. Pay 1,750 rupees as a provisional fees. Send it to the patent office. It's a kind of a reserve or priority, reserving the priority date. What is that? That says, because patent examiner only see the literature review from before the date of filing, not after the date of filing. Hence, to secure that priority, today you file, tomorrow you go and publish, no problem. Okay. So this is a whole context of referring. Hence, kindly file a patent application when you see that there is an invention which is capable of getting patent application, or your result is getting patent application, then file a provisional application. There is also another advantage. Sir, I'm making a research today. In my result, I don't know my result comes up with novel or not novel, but I somewhere it feels in my mind, I should file an application. What should I do? Go ahead and file a provisional. It will also give you a buffer time of 12 months or 12 plus 6 months, 18 months time to file your complete specification. By this way, you will be able to see in your research, though the result has not yet come to you, but you are in an early stage of innovation. You should identify your intellectual property rights and file a provisional at least. Okay, so this is what you need to do, and that is where if you are innovative, only then you will be able to lead. That is where this Apple, the Apple company founder said that the innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. You should decide whether you would like to become a leader or a follower. If you want to become a leader, then you should keep on innovating. Okay, so if you want to become a leader, if you wanted to become a market leader, you have to take risk, you have to innovate, and you have to excel. So that is where in this particular slide you can find how in the year 2007 the iPhone, its stocks in euros, which was mentioned, and in the year 2018 how it rose to its double out of it. So this is an indication that you have to keep on innovating. Yeah. Now coming to this particular traditional knowledge and biotechnology, very close relationship which it has. I would like to state in this particular case study. It was regarding turmeric case. I think you all know about this turmeric case, neem case, basmati case, etc. Let me take up this turmeric case. Quickly, I will finish it off and I'll move on to my other slides also, as I have another 30 minutes time. Turmeric, we all know that we use this turmeric for the sake of medicinal purposes, wound healing, or for a food as a food ingredient, dyeing sake. We know that turmeric has a lot of herbal, what do you say, medicinal qualities, and it is used for cold, blood purification, etc., or skin diseases, etc. So in the year 1995, in United States, the University of Mississippi, one of the research department, two innovators files a patent application to the patent office in the year 1994. And the patent was granted in the year 1995. For what? What was their claim? Their claim was that it was a subject matter was used for turmeric powder and its administration for the wound healing purposes. So when the patent was granted, in India, the huge hue and cry happened. Hey, come on, why turmeric powder was granted a patent? Because it is our traditional knowledge. It is our traditional knowledge how someone can file a patent application and get a patent to them, because the patent first requirement is novelty, and it should be new. Novelty means new. Is it new? And novelty is worldwide, not regional wise. Okay, worldwide novelty. They said that, hey, come on, this is not novel because it is already known to the people. Hence, it should not be granted a patent. And the Indian Council for Science and Industrial Research filed an objection for patent grant. That is, we call it as post-grant opposition. There is a two situation in patent office. One, pre-grant opposition. Another one, a post-grant opposition. So they filed an objection as post-grant opposition, that is after the grant, stating that, sir, whatever you have granted for a patent is no more novel, hence you should not grant them the patent. Not grant a patent. So then what happens? The patent examiner ask and say, hey, come on, you say I should not grant a patent. Can you tell me or give me some kind of document to say it is not novel? It is not novel on the date of filing of patent application. Can you provide me some documents? Then the CSIR came to India, found out in various documents in India. Was it available? Are there any documents to say that turmeric is used for cold, cough, or it is one of the medicinal ingredients? Is there any documents likewise? Or if at all, if it is there, then where? Can anyone say some answers, please? I request the host to kindly read the chat answers.
Ancient literatures.
Okay, ancient literatures. Then?
And
in which
one
places?
publication at 1956.
Yes. So, no, actually, you should have not stated that. Nevertheless, unexpected answer. Okay. So what happened when they came up to India, they found there was, yes, of course, all these ancient literatures which was wrote in Talegari or on the stone. And more fully, this use of turmeric was from oral. From one person, my grandmother knew about the turmeric when I was a child, or when the children's during the fall and come back home, we used to wash that neatly and put turmeric, right? So this is what we used to do. We know that it's quality and it has been passed from generation to generation, and there is no requirement of a document for us to say about it. But for a patent office, it requires evidence, and evidence should be a documentary evidences. And documentary evidence should be a acceptable documentary evidence. You cannot simply go and show your talegari or your leaf or your palm leaf or on the stone, etc. So in that context, there was one newspaper article published, as you all rightly pointed out. In that newspaper article, there was a small article which mentioned about after the labor of the what do you say? The C-section, when the baby was born, the umbilical cord, the people used to cut the umbilical cord and apply turmeric over that particular wound. Why? Because it used to act as a wound healing property, and antiseptic quality. That was already known and it was published in the newspaper article. This newspaper article became as an evidence, and they produced before the patent office stating, sir, this is the reason and this is the evidence we have on record. And the patent office says, yes, claim number 3 and claim number 4 regarding wound healing properties and antiseptic quality, these two claims were cancelled by the patent office. And the later stage, other claims was also cancelled and the whole patent got cancelled. So this was a situation when India went to United States, filed an application, and the claims were cancelled, etc. So then India, the CSIR and people were all in India were happy. Yay, yes, we came back and it's done. But is that the only thing? Is that the only thing which is happening? Various traditional knowledge of India has been copied at the West. They have been utilizing our traditional knowledge for commercial gain at their places. And this was evident, and lot of patents were granted on our traditional knowledge for use of neem, clove, etc. and etc. So in this context, India was really perplexed and was facing a huge issue. What to do? Can anyone tell me what is the solution for this? What is the solution which India should have done, or what we can do? Can anyone say what is the problem which you are facing here now, and how do you solve this problem of biopiracy? We call it as biopiracy.
Yes, the documentation is required here.
Okay. Any other answers, please? What is the other solutions? Okay, one is you need to make a documentation. Next. Can I get a patent?
No. Actually,
No?
PBRs are in much progress now.
Okay.
Wherein documentation happens at all levels.
Then
the publications.
And then the publications. Okay, wonderful. But why not why not India take patents?
Unless documentation is there's no question of taking a patent, right?
Okay, I cannot completely agree, but okay, fine. Next, any other answers, please? Why India cannot take patents? Agree, documentation 1. Then any other answers, please? Any other chat answers, please? Madam, can you find any chat answers?
No, sir.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. No problem. Not an issue. So as Madam also rightly pointed out, the one more point why India cannot take patent on its own traditional knowledge is because it is no more novel. The first requirement of patent is novelty. It's a traditional knowledge is something which has been passed on from generation to generation. And if I file patent, there should be some inventor, right? Here there is no inventor. It's a knowledge passed on from generation to generation. You know, in Hyderabad there is one medicine provider for asthma. That is where he put the medicine into the fish and he directly administered the medicine to the patient who have asthma. I don't know if you people know about it or not. You can just have a look at it in the Google at your leisure time. So this is a knowledge which is being transformed from generation to generation, and only that family knew about it. And you also know in Mangalore or Udupi, in the South Canara, there was one particular person who used to give this bark. It all comes in the Discovery Channel and etc. I don't know how scientifically it is correct or wrong, but nevertheless, he gives medicines for the tree barks for cancer patients. So that's also once again a traditional knowledge. So this traditional knowledge, there is no any single inventor because it has been passed on from generation to generation. Nevertheless, what happened? So in this particular case, and because we cannot file patent because it is no more novel. So that is a positive way to protect our IPR. But there is another methodology which India took, was called as traditional knowledge digital library. As madam rightly pointed out, sir, we need to document our traditional knowledge. So the TKDL, that is the traditional knowledge digital library. What is this? The government realized that if I do not see what was the problem earlier, it was about documentation. So now if you make a documentation of it and make accessible to the patent office, okay, then they will be able to decide whether the said application should be granted or not. In the same way, where our various traditional knowledge, which was in Sanskrit, Hindi, Arabic, Urdu, Tamil, and various other colloquial languages, they converted all these things into a traditional knowledge digital library, where our Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, Charaka Samhita, Yoga, all these traditional knowledge was converted into 5 international languages such as English, Japanese, French, Germany, and Spanish. And any application related to this, when it comes to the patent office have an access to our 2.5 lakh medicinal formulations. Okay, and they examine this and they say, hey, come on, whatever you have come out with is a traditional knowledge, or it's already there and the document number so and so, so and so, hence I cannot grant you a patent. This is what India did to protect the traditional knowledge, and this mechanism we call it as defensive mechanism for protecting our IPR. Otherwise, every time we used to file application in the respective country and huge cost it used to occur, right? So likewise, our various traditional knowledge which was patented and were trying to get a patent were all being cancelled. More than 250 traditional knowledge of our things which got patents were cancelled. And that list is also available in this TKDL. And this is how we stopped this misappropriation of our traditional knowledge by someone else and stop this biopiracy. And as madam also rightly pointed out, the PBR and the the documentation system is they are capacitating on a huge scale everywhere. Okay, so this is how India started protecting the traditional knowledge of the country. Yeah, so I would like to, in the midst, I would like to take up this Karni tribe case. I will also make you people aware about it in the due course, okay? A Karni tribe case on Arogya Pacha case, okay? And that is where our biodiversity and access and benefit sharing mechanism, etc., will be explained very well over there. Though we have another exclusive session where traditional knowledge and other portion, Dr. Nandini Dolipet, where she will be discussing. Nevertheless, I will also tell you a brief about it. Okay. Madam, can you see my slide? I'm in the 11th slide and you can find wickets, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But is the screen full? What do you say? I'm not on a full screen mode. Nevertheless, you are able to see the screen and it's visible and clear.
Yes, sir, it's visible and it's quite clear.
And not an issue, right? I need not go for full screen.
Not an issue, not an issue.
If I go for a full screen, once again, I will have an issue of, if I change it, it does not change the slide. That's why.
No, sir, you can proceed like this.
Okay, done. Thank you. Okay, what do you find in my slide is a question. What do you find in my slide? The only thing is, you should, any people who tell the answer should not repeat it. Okay, it should be new, the different answers. Yeah, go ahead. What's there in my slide? Answers, please. Hello.
So nobody is answering.
Nobody is answering. Why? Aren't people there?
They are there, sir.
They are there.
Once a wicket, what we are seeing.
Okay. 1 second, wait. I will have one more. 1 second, wait. I just wanted to see the chat box.
Praveen sir says it is stumps.
Okay, very good. Yes. What about others? Why I'm not able to open the chat box? Yeah. Here it's there. Yeah, got it.
Dr. Sudha Devi also says it is cricket stump.
Okay. Yeah, good. So we find stumps, cricket stumps, wickets, etc. and etc. Do we find these kind of stumps or cricket? What do you say? The bails, etc. in the cricket match in the present cricket matches? No, we don't find it. Why? What was the problem which you can see here? What is the problem which was there, and what was the solution, or why such kind of a new technology which has come in for the wickets? Only one question, one answer I require. What is the difference between this wooden stumps with the present day stumps used in the cricket matches of national or international matches? What is the difference? What is the difference? They glow. Very good. Mr. Ashwath says they glow. Okay. By glowing, what is the technology incorporated in recent times? Praveen. Yeah, very good, sir. So the question is, they glow. And why this particular glowing technology came in? What does this result in? What did it make? What did it solve the problem? You can say the problem, and you can also tell what is the solution, or what did it make? What is the impact of that particular solution for a problem? I hope you are able to catch up with my pace. Okay, fine. What I was telling is, sir, in this 2 wickets, there's as Ashwati, SHWATH, Ashwati pointed out, stating that, sir, this glowed. And what was the problem in the earlier wickets? The problem was the accurate decision making. Okay, earlier we used to see in the cricket matches where the camera, they used to innovate, the camera, they used to go back and forth to see that whether the ball hit the stumps or not, right? So then the decision was not accurate. Assuming today it's an international match and India is playing and it's the last ball, and India requires only 1 ball to win this cricket match, the World Cup match, and Dhoni is in the screen, Australian bowls the ball, and ball passes through the wicket and goes. Is it an out or not out? In the given situation of mine, is it an out or not out? Sensors to avoid ambiguity. Yes, sensors was also placed. Yes, Sudha Devi madam. Yes, Mohan says it's an innovation. Praveen sir says accuracy. Very good. Correct. It gives us accuracy. But in the given situation, as I said, in this particular cricket match, when it's happening, it's a World Cup match. Last ball, India require 1 run. Dhoni is in the crease. Ball passes through the Australian bowls the ball, passes through the bat and the stumps. Is it an out or not out? Can anyone give an answer? Can anyone give an answer whether it is an out or not out?
Not out, sir.
see, it's not out. But yeah, Salma madam also says, sir, not out. But please, see, there is no accuracy. Some people say it's out, some people say not out. So in this whole context, to bring a conclusivity, to bring a, as Mr. Praveen sir said, accuracy to the decision of the people, this was a problem. And this particular inventor, Mr. Bronte, who is the director of the Zinc International, came up with this particular technology. That is the system for indicating movement of an article from one position or orientation to another position or orientation. What was the system? The system or the technology was the stumps are so touch sensitive that and blink whenever the bails are taken off. The sensor in the bails can determine within one of its thousands of seconds when the wickets are broken. Sir, what did this technology consisted, sir? This technology had sensors, LED bulbs, and a battery. This technology, which he came up with, comprising of this 1, 2, 3 or 4 components. He secured a patent in Australia. And his patent application number, you can find the top. AU refers for Australia, IN refer for India. Okay. And the numbers are 2010 is 2010. He filed application 2010. 306420 are the patent number. Okay. He files a patent application and gets a patent on it. Though you look and see, sir, the technology is what? It's a sensor, a LED bulbs, and a battery. That's all. And why do you need to get a patent for this? This is already known, sir. Batteries are known. Sensors are known. LED bulbs are known. But why patent? And patent is being granted for an improvement you does on the existing component and process. As Praveen sir rightly pointed out, patent are granted for a process or even for a product. Okay. And he does not only files a patent application in Australia, but he also files an application in India. Why? My question is, why did he file a patent application in India? Quick answers, Praveen sir, Salma ma'am. Yes.
We are cricket lovers, sir.
Madam, if you are a cricket lover and he files a patent, that means if you want to, fine, you are a cricket lover, I agree. But file a patent in India, that's the question.
So Indians,
files,
Indians are patent, cricket lovers, that the number of games that are played here and the money that revenue that he can generate for
very good, excellent. That is the point. Sir, why I file patent in India is because I feel for my product there is a huge scope. That is, for my product there is if I come out with my product over in India, then there is a huge sales for me. Hence, if I don't protect it in India, then anyone can
mimic it.
Yes, correct. So in the same way, if he has a patent in Australia and if he keeps it for himself happy, can I do it in India?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So that is where intellectual property rights are territorial in its nature. That means if you have a patent in Australia, you cannot enforce it in India. If you want to enforce it and stop others from using your product or process, then you need to file an application. So then this particular inventor filed an application in India also in the year 2012 through PCT route. What is this PCT route? PCT route is a patent cooperation treaty route wherein you file an application through PCT, that is through WIPO route, and to the designated countries where India, for PCT, there is around 152 countries which is party for it, and you can choose and file by sitting in India only. Likewise, for a biotechnology, you should find out where are the places where your product have a relevance. Where are the, for example, if I come out with a mechanical an engine, then for a car engine, okay, an efficient etc. and etc. engine. So where is my market? I find market in Germany, Japan, because they are the primary manufacturers of the car. So you file application over there. Now, when you say some kind of a biodegradable mask, you come up with every country is a market for you, but you have to choose where there is a huge market, where there is a potential of people to purchase, and where your product sells very well, and identify likewise and file application over there and protect it, so that anyone wants to use your invention has to seek your permission or license or assignment of the respective rights to manufacture, sell, offer for sale, or import such inventions. Okay, yeah. So this is where a very important role. So let me skip this slide. Yeah. So now coming to this main, madam, sorry, is my time up?
Another 5-10 minutes, you can conclude, sir.
Okay. So you tell me to conclude in 5-10 minutes. Done.
No. If it is there, you can go on, sir. It's not like, but we have a break that we give to start off with the next session.
Yeah. What time the next session starts?
11:30, sir.
11:30, right? Okay, that's really very good. You have given a buffer of half an hour so that, what do you say, for the people like me who require little more time. Okay. Sorry, all this time I have taken just to introduce on the subject matter of IPR. I did not start my actual session on IPR yet, and this is what actual course on IPR now I am starting. Okay, yeah. IPR means it's a property granted for invention, books, painting, songs, symbols, images, and designs used in the business. It's a legal right. As I said, it is territorial in its nature. Okay, territorial means if you want to give an effect to it, then you have to file in the respective nations as per their laws. So these are the various types of IPR. Patent, especially for you, plays a very important role. Then comes the trademark. If you come out with a product and sells in the market and you want to become an entrepreneur, trademark plays a role. Copyright for your data sheets, your articles, your things will entitle for copyright protection. Design, especially for industrial design for a product. Geographical indication, not much related to you, but still GI is granted to a product, which is an agricultural manufactured goods such as Channapatna toys, Mysore silk saree. Trade secrets, once again, very important for you people. And semiconductor and layout designs, plant varieties, once again, plays important role. So GI for a Channapatna toys or for your Kalaburgi tur dal or your Mysore silk saree are all entitled for GI. GI is a sign used in the product having a specific geographical origin, okay, and a quality attributed from the respective location or region, okay, such as Nagpur orange, Darjeeling tea, etc. So GI is valid for 10 years and it's a community right, except patent, copyright, or a trademark. In a patent, there is an inventor or inventors. They are only the entitled for patent. If they are assigned, then the assignee will be the owner of it. In case of copyright, once again, it's the author is the creator of the work and he is a holder of it. Or if he assign it to the publisher, then the publisher. In case of trademark, it is a proprietor of a company who uses a trademark, and if he franchise it, for example, Coffee Day, okay, he franchise it to many number outlets. So that's how you deal with trademark. But geographical indication, so in case of geographical indication, then it's a community right. It's a group of people who are artisans, such as Channapatna artisans, or the farmers of Kalburgi Turdal, or the manufacturers of your Dharwad Peda, one of the food ingredient, are entitled for geographical indication protection. Every 10 years, you can keep on renewing it. Yeah, copyright, as I said, for your data sheets, your computer program, your books, essays, compilations under the literary work, your drawings, painting, logo, map, chart for artistic work, dramatic, musical, sound recording, and cinematographic work are entitled for copyright protection. Copyright protection is valid for lifetime of an author plus 60 years. If it is a cinematography, sound recording, then it's only 60 years, or if it is a governmental works, only 60 years. Yeah. Yes. Trademark. Trademark is in the name, word, sound, color, taste mark. As I said, when you come out with a product, you can fix a trademark for it. So if you have filed an application for a trademark, then TM. If you have registered, then R you can use. Trademark is valid for 10 years. Every 10 years, you can keep on renewing it. So as I said, technology. So patent in detail, Dr. Sarsija Madam, who will deal on prior art search, and Ms. Brinda, who will talk about the sections relevant for patent criteria and patent examination. So all these subject matters, various resource person will deal in detail. I'll just only give you a basic glimpse of it. The primary rule in a patent is that the three requirement of patent filing is: one, it should be novel, it should be non-obvious, it should be industrially applicable. What is novel? That means on the date of filing or before the date of filing, such process or product should not be anywhere published, used, or in some acceptable document. So that becomes a prior art. So it should not be in your prior art. It should be novel, new. Second, non-obvious. What do you mean by non-obvious? Non-obvious is a test, okay, wherein we call it as posita. Posita means a person who is skilled in the art. If a biotechnology background person comes out with an invention, and in the similar invention by the biotechnology background person, if he sees your invention and say, hey, come on, whatever he has done is non-obvious, and the person is skilled in the art, not the expert person, rather the person who is skilled in the art. So that's what the example they take up. And that is where we see it as it's very subjective, and it depends upon the examiner, and how do you convince him is also a matter. Third one is about industrial applicability, whether your product is able to replicate in number of copies. So patent is valid for 20 years, and every after 20 years, you cannot renew it. It will come into public domain. It expires. You can also use an invention which is expired patent. That is, after 20 years, if the patent, if in a biotechnology, if someone has filed a patent, and after 20 years, anyone is free to use, they need not take a license from the author. But it makes no sense for me, because 20 years old technology, will it be still relevant? I doubt. Nevertheless, so this is what the rule is. For mechanical or other places, it plays a role to use the old component, or even for copyright, when the time limit of the copyright of the work has been expired, then anyone is free to use the work. Okay, so this is section 2(1)(j) of the Patent Act 1970, which speaks about the patentability criteria. So there are inventions which is not patentable. And what is the process of registration? And next comes up with the designs. Design is valid for 10 years plus 15 years. And these are all not much important to you. So here you can find, for a chemical formula you come out with, you can get a patent. For the product, you can go for a trademark. Shape of a bottle, you can go for design. And this leg, the thing which can go for patent. Your user manual can go for copyright. Some of the things you can keep it trade secret. So So yes, so that's all from my side. So all that which we appeal to you is to be innovative. Sorry, you're all innovative. You should, only thing is you need to file patent applications. So get patents, think out of the box, don't buy the fake, produce original work. So that's all from my side. I would like to thank College of Engineering for providing me an opportunity to discuss about this particular subject matter. And I hope you all enjoy the rest also. And I hope I have conveyed whatever I wanted to say with you. So this is, and if anyone requires any support from Karnataka State Council for Science and Technology, as I also told that Oxford Engineering Colleges also have an IP cell established in association with VTPC and KSCST. So we are also very happy for that, and I hope you all. We are not just happy that if you know about the program and say thank you very much, sir, etc. But we wanted you people to file patent application, and you have patents, then we are happy. Okay. So with that, I would like to thank once again everyone, and over to the host.
Thank you, Vivek, sir. That was a very informative and a very interactive talk. And from Oxford College of Engineering and Department of Biotechnology, I take it as a privilege to thank you for being one of the speakers for this session. Attendants, if you have any queries, questions, doubts, the forum is open. You can talk to him.
We appreciate
I'm having a basic doubt. Whether an Indian working in any foreign country, he can file a patent from there in India.
Can you come again? Come again, please.
If a person working in any foreign country, foreign universities, if he wish to file a patent in India, whether he can do that from working there?
See, of course, they can file patent. As I said, in India, there is one requirement. Where does the student belong to?
Actually, one of my colleagues is now working in Ethiopia.
Okay.
He wants to file a patent using that affiliation there in Ethiopia. He wants to file an Indian patent.
Okay, but where does he reside?
He now resides in Ethiopia.
Okay. But he is a citizen of India?
Yes, he is a citizen of India.
Okay, fine. See, the basic rule is that if I'm an Indian, okay, and if the invention is done in India, then first I have to file application in India. And then only I should file application in the respective country, other designated countries. Okay. So that's what the situation is. But if the invention is, what do you say? If he has done the invention in Ethiopia, okay, is the invention, where is the invention done? Okay, that's my one more question.
That is in that Ethiopian university.
Then I think there you need to know the rules. Okay, what has happened over there? Okay, the thumb rule in India is that you are an Indian, you are residing in India, or if you are not Indian also, that's fine. But the invention is done in India. It may be through a company, when you are in a company, or you are in a university or in an R&D. Okay, then of course you have to file application in India, and only then you have to choose other country. But in the as the invention done at Ethiopia, you need to know what is the governing principles or laws over there. Okay, then you have to think, and then you can, of course, you have all opportunity to file through PCT.
Yes,
provided
PCT is there, yeah.
Provided if Ethiopia is a party to PCT.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, that also you need to check up. So what you can do is you can just connect with us at a later stage. I will also check what is the law which is there governing, and accordingly we can support and guide. Okay.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Thank you very much.
Please share your contact details through the coordinator so that we will be get in touch
I'll put
later.
them in the chat box. You can just have a look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yes, any other questions, please?
I think no more questions, Vivek sir.
Okay.
I thank you for your kind cooperation in organizing experts for the entire session, especially in updating our faculty knowledge in IPR and other issues related to the patents. We, on the behalf of all the faculty members of biotechnology and the participants and the department and the institute, we thank you very much for your kind cooperation extended towards establishing our IPR cell, as well as in organizing the speakers for this session. And we are looking forward for your kind cooperation in helping our patent filing also with the minimal cost, of course.
Sure. No, actually, at KCST we do not charge. We do not charge for filing of patent applications.
For there only you expect students patents, right? Not
No. I'll tell you. What does KCST does is, once when an invention is ready with a faculty or a student, we will do a prior art search with our panel people, that whether the invention is patentable or not. Because if you go to the patent office and then patent examiner says, hey, come on, your invention is not novel because already there is a prior art. So instead of that, we do prior art search to you and give you the report to say that whether your invention is novel or not novel. That is one place. Second one, we capacitate and train the faculties to know about how do you make a prior art search, how do you conduct, or how do you claim a patent invention. So this we capacitate. Second, if you want to take further your patent application, we have list of patent agents with us who is a professional and who are in the respective domains such as biotechnology, nanotechnology, computer science, mechanical engineering, and we connect you to them for filing of patent application. Whatever charges and other things you have to take care with them, but the charges will be on a nominal price. Of course, it will be on a nominal a less price when compared to the price in the market, because you are routing out through KCST. And we also keep a check or suggest in the application what needs to be added, what not needs to be added, whether drawing should be there, whether the claims words claiming in the one so and so word should be there, or we should remove it. And we also assist in last week there was a defense of patent application on a agricultural technology. I have also told you Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan, who was an inventor, who has come here with our patent agent. They made a defense for getting a patent. So like this, it's happening. So in all this way, we support the faculty. But I also wanted to say one more thing is, if you there is also a scheme for under the Ministry of Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises, MSME. If you register there yourself as an entrepreneur for MSME, your patent application after grant to the tune of 2 lakh rupees will be reimbursed, and 5 lakh rupees for international patent will be reimbursed. So all that which I wanted to say you is, if you do some kind of research, do it under some kind of an umbrella or a single entrepreneur, so that you get the reimbursement. Not only with them, you should also become a startup. You become likewise, so that you can claim a lot of benefits with the government schemes where things likewise. And one more secret I also wanted to say is that you ensure that in your patent application there is you ensure that there is a women inventor in your patent application. What happen? This result in your application. That means if there is a women inventor in an application, the patent examiner has to take your application on priority. You have to fast track it. Okay, so ensure that your wife or your sibling or whoever it is enters as an inventor, and application has taken on a fast track basis. Okay. Yes.
Manjunath sir.
Tell me, madam.
One question I have
For me?
from him. No, no, not the person who is giving talk. Actually,
Yeah,
sir,
please go ahead, madam.
Yeah, I want to know that 4-5 year, why it is taking for the final hearing for India patent in Chennai?
No, no, that was earlier stage. See, it is not only the patent office which is taking time, it is also the inventor who have to go back and give the response to the patent. Okay. So earlier it used to take long time, but now from the date of issuing the FAR, it is taken just 6 months. Okay, for granting a patent. So if you are, see, it is not only the patent examiner who is at the one place who is delay, it is not he delaying, it is also the inventor also plays a very important role to cooperate and coordinate and give appropriate responses to the patent queries. If it does not do, then it takes time. So what you need to do is now the time frame has been fast tracked. The time frame is reduced when compared to the earlier situation because there was no human capacity, human office. Now it has been reduced, madam. Yeah.
And second thing is how to find out the company for the product which we have filed the patent. So company
Very good.
Because some government of India has filed on behalf of me. ICMR has filed the patent. Now they are telling me to search the company. So sometimes I am feeling difficult to find the company.
Yes.
Madam, you can approach NRDC, National
Yes.
Council. They will help you in finding ideal company for your product.
Yes, madam, as you have rightly pointed out the question, we have a specific session on commercialization of intellectual property rights on patents exclusive. Okay, so you just wait for the session. That's one. Second one, as Manjunath sir also rightly pointed out, we have RDC, which is a government of India undertaken corporation which deals with commercialization of your product. You tell this is my product, this is where we need to commercialize. You find out the appropriate clients and they will find out and put it up. That's one. There's also one more route wherein in NAL, not in NAL, one second, DRDO, yes, DRDO, what they did is, for certain technologies which is got patent, they have put up in their website stating that these are the technologies which we have with us. If anyone license of this, pay the respective fees and take it. It's a kind of open market. You open up and say anyone who is interested can come and take my patents. That's also one more second route. Third route is that KCST is a facilitator in WIPO IP match. That is, yes, CSEHOD. Sir, I will take your question. Yeah, in the chat box I can find. So as I said, we are the facilitator in WIPO IP match, wherein you have a technology and you tell us that I have so-and-so technology. What do? We put up your technology into the WIPO's IP match, where you say, I have my technology. Anyone who is interested to take the technology, they can approach you and take it, for which we facilitate and we do not charge anything for this. We put up in the WIPO IP match. Anyone who is interested across the world can come and approach you for the technology. Okay.
Can I give, because it is with the Oxford College and ICMR Delhi. So can I give that to you for KCST?
See, they requires appropriate. See, what I'm doing is I'm like a one second. I'm like a APMC yard. Okay, you're the farmer. You can come and put up your vegetables or whatever you grow into this particular marketplace. Okay, I facilitate in you to provide your products in the market. So you put up in the market, anyone can see the product, anyone can take the product. Any consumer or any industry or any company can come forward for taking up if they are interested to take it up. So that's how it happens. So whatever formality and permission you require to come and sell the product, you seek the appropriate permissions. Okay, and you can contact us. We will put up the said technology in the WIPO IP match, and if anyone who is interested, they will directly contact you to take it up. Okay.
So
yes, these are the three routes.
Email ID so that I can write you. Email ID.
Yes, in the chat box I have put my email ID. My official ID is also there. you can just see in the chat box. Once again, I have put in. Okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. And one more person had a question. Is it not giving permission to me? Okay. Sir, someone CSEHOD says that he's not able to.
And no. We don't have anything, sir. He is not in mute. He can actually unmute himself.
Naidu sir, speak out. You can talk. Chat option is okay. He has chat option, no?
Sir, if you're not able to open up your mic, kindly put the question in the chat box. No problem. Or if the question is too huge, you can get in touch with our email. Yeah.
Vivek sir, in the meantime, what is the approximate cost for filing one Indian patent?
See, I will be able to say only the government fees because that is fixed one.
And you know attorneys also know because you faced approximate.
No, that's yeah. See, I'll tell you. Sir, it is like a treatment. Okay. If there is a kind of a problem, you get it treated in Apollo, you get it treated in Fortis, you get it treated in government
hospital. You tell me that.
Government hospital. Yeah. See, I have given you all the three things. You go to government, you know what's the treatment. No, it's good. Nowadays, it's coming up with a well and good one. Like I'm a government person. You know how I'm talking, and you know what kind of service we may provide. But still, we also have certain limitations. Likewise, you go to a good law firms which gives you the services, etc. They charge higher note. That's what they do. So it varies from 60,000 to 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh, 2 lakh rupees. Likewise. But you can say, sir, is it affordable for the faculties? The question is, if that is a question, then I say you need to find out some kind of route, such as the funders or the institutions should take care of some of your cost, or get together with people to find out the best route to secure a patent, etc. and etc. Why I say this is because, sir, patent securing cost you are talking of, and the people say, sir, patent is an expenditure. No, patent is not an expenditure. Once you get a patent, and if it start reaping the benefit, there is nothing like that. Okay, and the returns are also huge. That is why the cost. So ensure that you take care of your patent application appropriately, so that later on you should not be worrying that, oh my God, I could have done little more best effort to protect it, so that later I could have reaped the benefit, etc. So I think I have the question, after patent publication, what is the next step? After patent publication, what is the next step? Where is it? In the patent office? Patent office publishes your patent. That's what you mean to say? Sir, yes, of course. After patent publication, it is an examination. But you need to know, sir. Okay, that's not your question. After patent publication.
Sir, that only I am telling. Examination is taking lot of time. That is everybody's question. Mostly people will ask that only. It will take 2 3 years.
No, Madam Ji, no, sir says no. Not his question. My patent was published. Then what is the next step, sir? Okay. Okay. What I wanted to say is, there is a set process which is there in the patent. Okay. Regarding the process, other resource persons are also going to tell, okay, as to what is the process of patents. But to the question of, as you said, I think once again you go back to the madam's questions that after publication it is examination. So for examination, you need to pay an examination fees. You need to pay fees to the patent office to take up your application for examination. Once he examines your application, then he will issue the FER, that is first examination report. Then you should reply back to the examination report stating that these are 1, 2, 3 are their queries, and you give justifiable answers for those. Then the patent examiner can, can call for hearing. He will say, can you come over online? Now everything is happening online. So they'll hear you online and see and say whether your 1, 2, 3, 4 objections, are you able to comply it? If you comply, then you have to give in return that these are the things which you have complied. If not complied, then you have to comply it. Okay, or if there is any objections by the private third party, then they will hear them. Okay, after satisfaction with your reasons, they will grant. If they are not satisfied, then they will not grant. This is a whole process. Okay, yeah, to make you understand the whole process of patenting only, this whole program. So kindly wait for other resource persons to come in for giving in detail explanation about the process and other steps, and that's what you can do. Okay. Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir,
for your patient hearing and satisfactory explanation to all of our silly queries, and hope the entire session will update our faculty's knowledge and process of patenting and improve the number of patent filing on academic session. Thank you very much for your contribution in today's session. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again, everyone.